Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matt Johnson. We are back with another episode of Real Estate Uncensored. And Greg, we are back live with each other, and we have no guest. No guest for the first time in a long time.
Just us.
Just you and me. Just me and the junior grandmaster himself in the co-pilot seat, Greg McDaniel. What is up today?
Oh my God, Matt, it's so good to see your ugly mug again. You know, it is just not the same without you being on the other side of the camera, stuck in each other, the boxes of our, you know, of our life here. But we did a really good show with Tim, dude, on Monday. Any of you fools that didn't see that, get your asses back to our channel. If you haven't subscribed, fucking subscribe. It will change your life.
Yes. Well, first of all, it was Wednesday. Monday was Joshua Smith, which was also a kick-ass show, but not the show you're referring to.
It is Friday, isn't it?
It is Friday. I know, it's been that long since we've seen each other. You're getting your days mixed up because you haven't seen me.
I know, it just breaks my heart every time. Just little cracks, everywhere.
All right, so you may have noticed that my background is slightly different. You see this lovely flat screen behind me, which is very slowly fading in and out of whatever picture is on there. So I'm in Jeff Cohn's conference room of his badass Omaha office. He's actually conducting his workshop right outside these hollowed doors, and we've got a really good group of guys in here from GoBundance. Like 10 of the guys that he met through GoBundance are here to check out Jeff's operation. And you guys, if I can flip the camera around real quick, you can see the lovely view of beautiful and scenic Omaha, Nebraska being constructed before your eyes.
Wait, Matt. Wait. Yeah. All I see is flat.
Yes, that's.
Where's the scenery? Where's the scenery? I don't see anything.
I know that is the scenery. You've seen it.
Well, I'll cancel my trip. I'm done. I got the postcard now.
Yeah, exactly. You can cancel it. You've seen it. You've got the postcard. You got the T-shirt. You have came and saw and conquered the scenery of Omaha, Nebraska. So yeah, that's a hill. Believe it or not, over there. I'm assuming the grade is about 40 feet. That's the total height of that particular hill. That's where that apartment building is sitting on. Yeah, exactly. So anyway. Wow. While we wait for people to hop on and watch us live, which we thank you so much for doing, we also want to thank anyone that's watching this replay on YouTube. Make sure to hit subscribe so that you get our future videos as well as get notified when we go live and all that good stuff. And then if you like the audio version, nestled right here within your ears, right in between your eardrums, you can head on over to iTunes and Stitcher and subscribe there. That's right, deep in there, where we so belong, Greg.
We so belong deep in there.
We belong there, right in your ears.
We've earned the right.
There's no excuse not to have us in your ears 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So head on over to iTunes. And one thing, do yourself and do us a favor if you'd like. If you just like the show and you want to support us, if you've taken the McDaniel Challenge and you appreciate what you hear, leave us a rating on iTunes, and then in the review, tell us what you like about the show, but then also tell us something that we can either improve or do more of, or some way we can make the show better for you guys. So that's something that really helps us out, and also tells iTunes that it is a real show and people are watching, and hey, maybe move us up a little bit in the rankings so that other people find out about the show. All kinds of good things happen when you leave us a rating on iTunes. So
it's just telling iTunes, hey, asshole, these guys are worth listening to. So do your thing and
exactly move us up in the rankings. Yeah. So exactly. So how's your week, man, Greg? I've been on the road the last couple of days, heading to Omaha. So I'm taking the opportunity to come out not only for Jeff's workshop, but also to pick up some music gear that I left here when I moved out to San Diego. So I'll be taking my beautiful Yamaha Stage Custom Natural Finish Maple drum kit with a 20-inch kit, a 10-inch tom, and a 14-inch floor tom, as well as all of my hardware back with me. Yeah, you didn't catch all that, Greg?
What the fuck was that? Did you just start speaking another language?
I did. It's called drum porn. That's the language I just spoke. So yeah, that will be coming with me back out to San Diego, so that if I feel so inclined, I may fill in for the occasional group.
Did you
maybe do some recording in the studio? We'll see.
Did you happen to take provocative photos of your drum kit? You know, a little angle up or a little angle down?
No, because half of my stuff is in San Diego. So I took odds and ends. So if I took the picture of the drum kit as it is now, it would look like a bunch of black cases with flaming skulls on the outside of them. So it doesn't exactly have the same appeal.
That doesn't say sex to me at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Just no. It says that's not sexy.
That's right.
My week, dude, has been amazing. I have had the opportunity to. Unfortunately, Derek, if you're listening to this, get a hold of me. Let's reschedule your ass. He misscheduled it. He had it for the 28th. It was 26th. He was out showing, so I can't hate on him. He's making money, doing what you're supposed to be doing. But besides that cluster F, I did get an opportunity to talk with Neely that night. Matt, by the way, I'm going to go on a side tangent here.
Okay. Surprise, surprise. I, for one, am shocked.
Greg takes a hard left.
No.
What? I remember we talked about an event that we're potentially putting on.
Yes.
We are getting a lot of interaction on that, more and more questions. So for everyone listening to this, Matt and I are going to be sitting down next week and starting to look at logistics and if it is a feasible thing for everyone. So guys, we're not just yanking your chain. We are legitimately going to look into this, but don't get your panties up in a bunch. It's not going to happen next month.
No, and I had a thought about that, Greg, actually, which is funny because I emailed you about this yesterday or the day before while I was on the road, and only realized today that it did not get delivered to you because I sent it to Gref at McDanielRealEstateAssistants.com.
Gref.
So this is what I get for like trying to email and do the voice to text thing while I'm on the road, right?
Gref.
So I shot you over this idea, so I might as well spring it on you while we're on the air, which
Why
is
not?
this.
That's you every day for me.
Yes. So rather than going through all the time, effort, and expense, and by that I mean rather than Matt going through all the time, effort, and expense of putting together a separate event, we could possibly look at having events that coincide or even are within existing events. So let's say we went to the California Association of Realtors and said, hey, we want to have a real estate uncensored track within your CAR Expo. Okay, so they've already done the logistics, they've already booked the hotel rooms, blah, 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 blah. They need speakers, they need content, right? Well, we have the speakers, we have the content, we have the audience. So we come to them and say, hey, we've got people lined up, we have people that'll come and speak, we have a whole program. All you need to do is just give us a room that'll hold 150 people. We'll take care of the rest. We'll bring our own audience. We'll help you sell tickets. You can advertise it, we'll team up, and that way all the logistics are taken care of, and not only can people go and hear our stuff, but then they can also network with thousands of other agents, and they can go attend the expo halls, and all the stuff that we wouldn't really put together necessarily will already be there at their fingertips. So that's something that we can play around with too.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot, actually, because I mean it's all inclusive, and like you said, you actually will get back to having a life. Well, I lounge, so free and gracefully on the beaches of California, and you're struggling, toiling in the dark hours of the night, trying to put the shit together. And I'll call you in the morning. So, Matt, where are we on everything, by the way? Long night.
Well, you look out down your balcony at the pool.
Yeah, and I'm spocking out the hot chicks. I'm like, is it worth going down there? No, all dudes. Nope, not going down there.
That's a sausage fest. Yeah. So that's some of the ideas that we're toying around with. Obviously, we would love to hear your feedback on what you think about that, and most importantly, like what would get you, off your duff and onto a Southwest flight to come to San Diego, Long Beach, or San Francisco to attend an event. Who do you want to hear from, out of all the guests that we've had on the show? Who do you want to hear from? Obviously, Jeff Cohn is a logical one. Jenny Williams I can see coming out here and speaking to us. But anybody else that you'd like to see, like Joshua Smith, he doesn't do as much speaking anymore, but just tell us like who you'd want to hear from and what topics you want, and we'll figure out a way to put this thing together.
Well, so I talked to the Grand Master and I pitched this idea to him, and he was just like, dude, that is an effing awesome idea. I'll help bankroll it for you. I have, he's got connections coming out of his ears. So he's like, dude, he named off a couple of folks that he's just like, I know that I can get this guy, I can get this guy, get this guy. And they're big. I'm not going to say their names on air, but they are big. They are big names, guys, that have big followings, and you could learn a crap ton from them. So you know what, just let us know what you want, and we'll make it happen for you. But I'm going to finish up my shout out super quick, because I had the second shortest McDaniel challenge last night, Matt. I talked to an amazing guy, Aaron. Dude, Aaron, what's up, dude? Amazing talk with you. He said he's a high D and a high I, but his D ate his I. And I'm like, well, fuck, this is going to be one short ass conversation. It's like, I'm out. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do for the rest of my night?
That's right. You had a McDaniel challenge, and you still ended up being alone.
I know.
I know.
Yo, guys, remember hashtag don't let Greg spend the night alone, because then he calls Matt. Matt gets upset because then he doesn't get to do what he wants to do on his evenings. He gets babysit me, crying.
Talk you down off a ledge. Exactly. Greg, go to the beach.
Fuck off, man. Just go to the beach. Just go do something. Go be with humans. And Sean. God damn it! I'm gonna mess this name up, dude.
Sharnita. Okay.
God, I hate being
like you got it right the first time before we went on the air. I don't know what the problem is.
Was because I scribbled it. See, I read it off of my I read it off of the calendar last time. That's what worked. So Sharnita, awesome to talk with you. I know you and I had a couple of tech problems. You know, she couldn't log in. We couldn't get her stuff powered, and then her phone went dead. So we battled back and forth. But you know what? I think we came up with some really cool stuff for you, Sharnita, and I'm really thankful that you're watching and listening. And then, guys, I just got the most incredible message. James Nathan, man, dude. You guys, I just gotta read this message. It totally made my day. Here it is. Greg, just wanted to say thank you for being an unofficial mentor to me. The massive value you provide has been life-changing. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. That means the world to both me and Matt. I mean, that's why we created this podcast, guys. I am thrilled beyond belief that you're reaching out and telling me that, and I cannot emphasize enough that literally has made my day and probably my weekend as well. Just because I know that we're bringing value to you guys. So keep reaching out to me. I love hearing from you guys. Remember, take the McDaniel challenge. Remember, hashtag don't let Greg spend a night alone. Okay? Don't do that. It's bad news. I'm booked up until the 14th of June. Matt, can you believe that?
Holy cow. Seriously? A month and a half out?
No, I'm sorry. I lied to you. It's the 15th of June.
Okay, that's completely different.
Guys, McDaniel challenge. It is an hour or two of us just chatting, hanging out, getting to know each other. There's no official structure to this thing. It's just you and I getting along. Or if you want to have your spouse, your team, or whoever you want on the call, it's just us working through whatever is not making it. You know, we're just trying to unfuck yourself. Okay, that's basically what we're trying to do. Thank you, JJ, for that comment. By the way, I got that from JJ.
unfuck yourself.
Go unfuck yourself. And so it's a lot of fun, you know, have a couple of beers while we're chatting, you know, just kind of hang out and chill. So guys, please reach out 925-915-1978. Again, 925-915-1978 and unfuck yourself.
That's right. And I'm having a side conversation with Josh Bryan, who's messaging me on Facebook, and he says we should do this at Inman in Chicago next month.
Yeah, sure, Josh.
Maybe a little short notice for the Inman people. Yeah.
Or me.
Mm-hmm. Or me. Exactly.
You're halfway there, Matt. You can just keep on going.
Oh God, I am. I'm only 8 or 9 hour drive away from Chicago, which is very sad. It's not where I want to be. I want to be a long plane ride away from Chicago at all times.
Josh is probably fuming, head exploding. Like, you son of a bitch.
That's right.
So that's my shout outs right now. I'm looking forward to next week, guys. We have a lot of cool people that I'm going to have a chance to talk with. Who, Matt, you're good. That's a really good question. Who am I talking with next week? I'm really glad you asked.
I know. I'm so prescient, so on top of it.
So on top of it, man. I'm going to have an opportunity to talk to Dominic on Monday, Brian on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, dude, I'm doing a call into Dubai. You know, I'm actually doing a call with Dubai with Jeremy. But since our time frames are so off, I'm actually doing it at 9 a.m. So we're gonna do that. Oh, by the way, guys, I just realized I have a spot open next week. Thursday is not booked. I canceled. I'm not doing the radio anymore. So if you guys want to do a McDaniel challenge and you're listening to this and it's not what month are we in? April, May? We're going to be in May at that point. May 5th. May 5th. If anybody wants to do a McDaniel challenge, you got to hit me up now with a text or something like that, and we will get you booked for the 5th, guys.
All right. Cool.
All right, let's get into some shit.
Yeah, let's say we get into it. So we're 15 minutes in. We haven't delivered any content.
I blame you for that.
Yeah, I know. It's all my fault.
It is.
So let's go over here to the Lab Coat Agents Facebook group here, and there was a couple questions that caught my eye, and of course, as I say that, I'm losing the one that really caught my eye, which was this. Okay, so Brenda Piper asks, "Hey, I need ideas. Our son is a film and media major and will be home for the summer. What videos would you have him produce for your business?"
What I would do is probably film and media major. Fuck, I want that guy to be my kid. I don't even like kids.
Yeah. Can we just skip the first 18 years and just go straight to him being in college and being a video major so that I can use him for videos?
Yeah, not self-serving at all.
Not at all.
What I would do, I would probably start doing videos that are evergreen content. So I would do why to use you or your team or your partner, whoever your group is. Why to use them as a real estate agent. I would do a thank you for joining, coming onto our webpage. I would do thank you for letting us come out and visit you today. I would do some stock stuff about open houses. Hey, you got a great new open house that then you can, in the body of the email, you can write the address of the property. Also, if he's art, start going out and getting you around town, filming you, strategically throughout the cities and city or cities that you're in, and showcase to the fact that you know the area and you're highlighting special restaurants or businesses. Do little interviews with the owners or general managers or whatnot. Then you can cross-pollinate a lot of that stuff, because if he's going to be shooting all summer, I mean, you can get a lot of video done. And then you co-brand and collaborate with those restaurants, office, businesses and everything else, and have them push it out to their people. You push it out to your people. Do a, if it's a pizzeria or a coffee shop or whatever, right? Do a verbal coupon. So if for instance, if that was my kid, then again, I don't like kids, but if it was mine, I would have him, I would say in there, hey, mention McDaniel Callahan and you'll get 15% off your next purchase. So it costs you nothing and it lives forever, and it co-brands you with the other restaurant. It would be a great way for that to build up a lot of goodwill throughout the community. Also, once your people are in line, so let's say Matt, Julie, and his 3 obese babies were in line behind me, taking up the entire rest of the shop because his kids are enormous. They hear, oh yeah, McDaniel Callahan. And and they're like, okay, yeah, you get 15% off. But Matt doesn't know who I am, or doesn't know who our team is, but he hears McDaniel Callahan and you get a discount. He'd be like, what's this McDaniel Callahan thing? What was that? And then I could turn around and be like, oh, dude, it's a real estate team that I mentioned them at different restaurants and I get different discounts at. Oh, really? Well, then I get known. Okay. So that would be something that I would highly recommend. That's a really long answer to a very short question.
It's not bad. I like it. I would throw in there, based on what I've seen other agents do. I'm thinking specifically of Carney Carlson is a great example. I think Brett Jennings is another good one, and then Joshua Stern, a big KW agent out of Salt Lake, who I used to work with a lot. They have all shot videos specifically for new clients, to enhance their experience and make it more likely that they generate referrals. So that's another good place to start. Is number one, make sure that you're getting as much business as you can out of the people that you're already working with before you start making videos to try to draw new people in that don't already know, like, and trust you. So I would start probably with videos for my current and new clients on the specifics of the buyer process, the seller process. Like, hey, this is what we're doing right now. This is like the lead up to your home going live on the MLS. So this is what we're doing. This is the process. This is what happens when the home goes live. This is our goal. This is why we're doing what we're doing. So they have videos like that. Connie also had a great idea. I don't know if she ever followed through on it, because it's been a while since we talked about that part of it. I actually just talked to her the other day, but she had a great idea of building out an entire page specifically for home sellers that almost would take the place of a pre-listing packet. And by that I mean she would shoot specific videos that covered the same type of content that you would cover in a pre-listing packet, like why work with us, general stuff on the team, the specific things we do to get a home sold, what's our marketing plan, what are the specific things within that marketing plan that set us apart. Like, if she had a plan to shoot all these different, probably 5, 10, 15 videos that would scroll down the page and give them basically different things that they can dip in and out of. But even if all they did was just scroll down the page and never play a single one of the videos, it would be an extremely impressive demonstration of why they should get that listing, right? So that's something else that if I had my hands on a film major for a summer, Greg, you mentioned evergreen content. That's exactly what I would focus on. Do not shoot anything that isn't going to be valid 1 year or 5 years from now. Focus exclusively on you, the top producer and the rainmaker, being on camera, delivering content that will still be good for 5 years from now. So I would even, like, if you're going to do stuff with local businesses, it better be the business that's been there for the last 10 or 20 years. Not the pizzeria that just started that experiments with triangle-shaped pizzas that are made in a plastic oven or something. I don't know.
Ooh, that sounds good. I mean, a little plastic poisoning never does a body bad.
Exactly.
Hey, I got another an idea as well. Actually, I got another question that I think is a really important one.
You're not allowed. Only I bring the questions.
Bite me, Smalls. All
right, but if you want to bring a question, I'll be sure to bring the answer.
Okay, Matthew.
Do I get to answer it?
Of course you do.
Great.
Okay. So Martin Goldsmith on Lab Coat Agents asks, what is the disclaimer? What kind of disclaimer should be placed on solicitations when sending out or door knocking in a farm? So, Matt, what say you?
And I say, Greg, you sound like a perfect person to answer that question. I will put nothing because I don't care, and it's not that big of a deal, and you should stop worrying about things that don't matter.
Actually, you're 100% wrong, and I would sue the shit out of you.
So, but what type of disclaimer are we talking about? If you, as long as you have your BRE number, your brokerage name, and yada yada, and you're not soliciting, you're just handing it. Are we talking about like an informational flyer that you would pass out in your farm?
Yeah, so on everything, whenever I'm trying to look for, I don't have anything in hand, damn it.
Oh, you're talking about like, oh, this is not a solicitation. If you were already engaged with another agent, blah blah, hands off.
If you're already listed, you know, we're not intentional. Yeah, you know, listing your home, blah blah blah.
Screw you, California.
Well, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a rated X.
Yes, this is a bad show. You and I are both in rare moods today. We haven't had a guest. We've had guests on, so we've had to like contain ourselves when we have these sweet, Southern women on the show, and I gotta try to rein Greg in and keep him from cussing up a storm. And
that really, when we got off the air, what was the first word I said?
I think if anybody's seen The League, it was very similar to a Shiva blast. That's exactly what Greg did. It was basically a long, instead of like Shiva Kamini Somakunda Kram, it was like a long string of yelled obscenities literally as soon as she hung up the phone.
Oh, God, I had to get it. I was like building up inside of me, and I had to get it out. Okay, so back to the question. So this is what you would put on, what we do, what we say when we make it a little humorous. We say, hey, if your home is currently listed by another agent, please disregard our proactive marketing. We're not intending to, solicit you for a listing, but we just say our proactive marketing because people get a kick out of it. And yeah, you do need solicitations, Matt. Otherwise, there is a very good way to get your ass in trouble. What did I say? Solicitation.
And thank you, California, because none of that should matter. Because the act of marketing your real estate business should not be something that would ever get you in trouble unless you're making claims that are patently untrue, and even that's subjective.
Well,
so we're not lenders, we're not advertising credit terms, we're not doing things like that. No. So all that stuff and all that disclaimer, frankly, which is shit. All this stems from the old idea, the very old idea, that if you are in a professional service industry, it is borderline unethical and nigh unconscionable to market your services and go out and proactively find clients. You should only be finding clients by referrals and networking and so forth. It's all this traditional garbage. There's nothing wrong with marketing your service, and just because you happen to run into somebody, whether it's in person or by flyer or by voicemail or whatever, that happens to be represented by another agent, that in itself should not have any implication at all that you're trying to win them over as a client, number one. And number two, it shouldn't really matter because if you as an agent, as a consultant, as a fiduciary agent for your client or for your future client, if you believe you can provide them a better service, there shouldn't be anything wrong with you advertising your services as a fiduciary agent and saying, look, I am a different or better fiduciary agent to you than this person over here, and here's why. And if you decide to stop working with that person at any time for any reason, which they should have the freedom to do, and if they should want to come over to me as a different fiduciary agent, they should have the freedom to do that. Just like if I work for Edward Jones or LPL or whatever, I should have no problem marketing my services as a financial advisor to somebody else who obviously already has a financial advisor. I mean, imagine if just take that same kind of logic and apply it to virtually any other industry. And financial advice or wealth management is a great example. Every person of affluence already has a wealth manager. So if you could not talk to a person, they literally could never take any clients because that's where they get their clients. Networking and referrals and advertising their services to people that already have wealth managers.
Well, I have 3 wealth managers, Matt. How many do you have?
Just 7. I'm running a 7. It's a small team. It's a small team.
I collect baseball cards.
Like a couple of actuarial. I've got like I've got like the investment genius guru. He's like 15. I found him in India. I mean, it's a small in-house team.
I'm using the same guy. Great. He's made a huge return of -6%.
That's right.
But actually, here you want to double down on how lame California is on this. In our country across. Oh, you're gonna go off the rails. I went off the rails on it.
Okay.
But in our area, when we used to be able to go door knocking, and you bring your activity sheet, so active, pending, sold, right, in the last 30 days, 10 days, whatever the amount can fit on the sheet.
Okay.
Now, these clusterfuck morons in our area has decided in their infinite stupidity that you cannot put the numbers of the address that are actively on the market. You can only put the street name. And this is their logic. This is absolute stupidity at its finest levels. Oh, because Matt, you and I are agents in Contra Costa County, right? And
Okay.
I'm going out door knocking, and you have the listing. And let's say you're selling, 456 Maple Street, and I have it on the sheet as 456 Maple Street. If you don't give me written permission to market your listing on my door knocking sheet, you can make a formal complaint, and I can get fined by the board. It is a fucking mess. Because if Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, Realtor, everybody else can have the address and market our data, but I can't go door knocking with it, that's ridiculous.
Yes, that is insane.
You know what they're really doing? What they're doing wrong here is why wouldn't Matt want me out talking about my active listing at this street is just another eyeball that's going to be on this thing?
Yes.
Asinine.
Yes, this is what happens, and this is the problem with California in general. And not to get into a political debate, but politics are often a manifestation of other belief systems, and the belief system is scarcity. And if you talk to any really successful person, they do not have a scarcity mindset. If you talk to unsuccessful people, most or all of them have a scarcity mindset, right? So they believe, for whatever reason, because of their personality type and the way that they were raised and all this other stuff, they believe that the pie is fixed, and therefore they need to protect their part of the pie, right? Yep. So you, other agent, should not be going out and marketing my listing because that's my job, and I'm the one that planted the sign in the yard, and I'm the one that's sitting back and doing nothing and hoping that somebody else brings me a buyer. Don't you go out there
Don't you be proactive.
I don't want you going out there and proactively marketing because that makes me look bad. So therefore, I'm going to hamper your ability to do so, even while Zillow, Trulia, and Realtor.com can do exactly what you said, Greg. They're doing exactly that. They are marketing our listings and then selling them back to us in the form of leads while we shoot ourselves in the foot and don't allow another agent to have the actual written address on a flyer when they go door knocking. I mean, this is ridiculous stuff. I mean, it all comes from that. It all comes from that mindset. And it's, I mean, that is it's a horrible, horrible mindset to have, and it will hold you back from success.
It 100% will. That's why I do my Facebook Lives. Oh, by the way, Facebook Lives, guys, when you're watching this and you like Matt and I are just basically ranting today. Usually this is not our style. But, if
it is our style. We just hold back a little bit sometimes.
I don't. You do. Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's the difference is I'm ranting this time too.
Yeah, you're going off the rails. But hey, guys, go friend me on Facebook. My friends are ranking up. I'm going to be at 5,000 here probably within a week or two. Then I can't accept any more friends, but go to the Real Estate Uncensored's Facebook page and like it there, because I'm going to start going live from both of those. Matt's going to be going live from his and from Facebook Live, Real Estate Uncensored's page.
Yeah, mostly from my personal page, just FYI.
Well, I'm going live from my personal page, but if you can't can't see it, but I'll re-tag it back over in the other one. But follow me on Facebook, guys. Get alerted when I go on Facebook Lives. I do it every single day throughout the week with content or looking at a cool house, or like today is going to talk about cool things to do. But go friend request me and follow me and subscribe to me on Facebook. But
that's right. Oh, and speaking of Facebook, so mine is facebook.com/pursuingresults. You can also find me on Snapchat, Pursuing Results. So I'll be doing some stuff on there, just tinkering around with it a little bit to get familiar. If anybody follows Gary Vaynerchuk, you know that he believes that Snapchat is going to be the next big thing, and he's very, very, very he's an evangelist for Snapchat. He's been talking about it for 2.5 years. So I am going to be tinkering around with it and just learning and preparing for the fact that it may eventually be the next big thing. And he points out, for anybody that finds it hard to use, which it is, because we are used to the social networks we've had, where everything is static, recorded, and it's all a feed and all this stuff. Like we have, our intuition is wrong, right? So we have developed what we think of as intuitive, and that's what we go to Snapchat expecting is a Facebook type experience with maybe a few different bells and whistles. It's literally completely different. So
which is good. Which is really good.
And somebody, I think it was Gary Vee that pointed this out, Snapchat is the closest thing in terms of technology or a social network. It's the closest thing to the way that human beings actually communicate. Like our stuff is not recorded and broadcast to everyone. It disappears instantly and it's one-to-one. Snapchat allows you to do that, but then you can take and you can put your stuff over on stories, which does record it and gives people a way to interact with you time shifted. So it's an interesting combination of things. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to post there or what that content's going to look like yet, but let's get ready and follow me on Snapchat at Pursuing Results, and let's experiment with it together, and we'll figure this thing out so that if it does explode and everybody and their mom starts moving over from Facebook to Snapchat, we will be ready.
Right, Matt, just make sure you wear clothing. We don't want to blind people. You know, because we know
Okay.
Snapchat was originally.
If you know anything about me, Greg, you know that I'm the kind of person that literally puts on something like this. Boots, see that? I put those on at 7 in the morning, and they leave my feet at 11 o'clock at night when I go to bed.
Yeah.
You could literally Snapchat me at any time of the day, and I will be fully clothed and look like I'm ready to go to a party.
Okay, now I'll follow you on Snapchat.
Okay, good. All right, so let's talk about this. There's something I want to get into, and
God damn it, you shush, Omaha, Mr. Runner. Good Lord, did you have your carrot juice today? Good Christ. Okay, you get into something, but I definitely want to talk about Facebook Lives. We've talked about it, but I want to break it down for people as well to talk about how, if they want to do it, how to do it the right way, not the wrong way. So you go on your rant, go, and then I'll bring up the rear here.
Well, how about this? I will give my shout outs, then I'll go with my rant. Then you can do we'll give the McDaniel challenge out. Okay, so number one, Viral Marketing. Check them out. They're awesome. They run Greg's real estate video blog in the East Bay. Go to gregsmarketingexamples.com to see his YouTube channel, his video blog, the actual examples of emails that they send out for him. There's a video where Greg breaks down exactly what Viral does for him and why he likes them. And so it's not just a fluffy, like, hey, check these guys out. Like, go to gregsmarketingexamples.com. You'll get some actual information as far as what they do for him, and learn more about what they do, because they're awesome. I can't say enough good things about them. I'm here at the workshop with Jeff Cohn. There are several other, not only Viral clients, but one of the ex-Viral coach, who's now the CEO of Rockerbox, which is a follow-up calling company for anyone that's on Boomtown. He and I actually work with some of the same clients while we were both at Viral. He's gone out and started his own company, same thing that I've done. And so Viral just has a really phenomenal reputation. Like, the higher up that you get in the real estate world, the more people know Viral and have nothing but good things to say about them, which is pretty awesome. So that speaks a lot to how good they are. And then, speaking of Jeff, if you want to check out the workshop, go to eliterealestatesystems.com, click on the team building workshop link. Right at this moment, we're having an issue with the website where the videos aren't showing up, but if you check back with us like over the weekend or next week or whatever, we'll get that little snafu fixed, and you'll be able to watch like the team building video, as well as the testimonial video of some guys who've been through the workshop before, like Sam Monreal, who's actually here again, taking the workshop again. So there's actually a couple guys that are here for the second time. But anyway, so those are my shout outs. But this is what I wanted to get into. There was somebody that I talked to last week, and the way that he talked brought up a couple of things, right? So I talked to this guy. He's the head of one of the top Sandler sales training franchises in America. Are you familiar with Sandler, Greg?
No.
I wasn't super familiar with them either. I had just heard of them. They are the largest and probably best sales training organization in the world. That's all they do is sales training. This guy that I talked to is one of their top. He basically owns one of the top franchises. So it's a franchise. They basically they have different offices all over the place. This guy's the head of one of the top offices. Anyway, so when I'm talking to him, and we're talking about what he's going to, I was booking him on a podcast, right? And we're going over the content that he's going to cover. And the amount, just the level of clarity that he has over, and he said something really good. He said people, they want to focus on the tactics all the time, right?
How-tos.
They want to know how to do this, how to do that. They'll go to webinars. They're the ones at the event snapping the screenshots of the slides and all this stuff, like what you and I seen at the Explode conference last week or whenever that was. You have all those people that are focused on the tactics. It's like the problem is that there are two other factors that are way more important, and they're called behaviors and their attitudes. Your behaviors are the things that you actually do, and that's really important, but even more important than that is the attitudes. If you don't deal with the attitudes, which are all of the psychological underpinning of who you are, then you never take the right behaviors, and you have no business trying to implement tactics. So what you really need to do if you want to be successful is you back up all the way up to attitudes, then to behavior, then to tactics, right? And what I noticed, it just reminded me of the fact that the more you talk to really ultra successful guys, you'd be surprised. Like people, I guarantee you, the average unsuccessful person would marvel at the fact that anyone would spend $1,000 to talk to Jay Abraham for 15 minutes or 30 minutes. They would say, what can you possibly get accomplished in 30 minutes? But when you talk to those guys, oh my God, you realize the level and the reason that you can get so much accomplished in that short a time is they have clarity, right? And I think that's what, like, a lot of the people that, like, if you pay attention to these Facebook groups, Greg, it has to drive you nuts. Just
Mhm.
it's the lack of clarity.
Lack of
and
anything.
and you know, it's a lack of a lot of things, but it's definitely clarity. Nobody knows what to do, right? So then they go to a Facebook group and they post a question. Hey, what do I do about X? And you know what they get? They get, what would you say, 80 to 90% of the replies are from people that probably have no business answering a question.
Yeah, it's bickering. There's the underhanded, comments. It's like a playground out there at an elementary school. I mean, people. I'm not bagging on everybody who is a part of it. Don't get me. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there, like Matt said, there is no definitive, authoritative figure that can come in and literally give clarity to a problem, because everybody's got an opinion, right? And so, so Matt and I view goals totally differently. We've had this discussion live on air. So if we were to both respond, Matt would say the wrong thing, and I would say the right thing.
I think you got those mixed up, but yeah, I get the point. But here's the thing. So this is what I was thinking about, and tell me if you agree with this.
Nope.
So I believe that you are much better served if you want to be a successful person and successful in business, that one of the main things you should spend your time on is not pursuing tactics. It's pursuing an understanding of what is the framework of how do you grow a business. Because when you look at ultra successful people, they can go from one industry to another industry to another industry. You get these serial entrepreneur types that they start business after business after business, right? Mm-hmm. How in the world do they do that? Well, it's because they understand the process of growing a business. So my current theory on this is this. So most real estate agents, salespeople, recruiters, independent financial advisors, like all the people that I talk to on a daily basis, they came from a place where they had to work on two things simultaneously. And this is always the tough thing for people, working on multiple things at once, right? Everybody wants to just zero in and focus, I just want to focus on sales. Great. It's not going to work. If you can't deliver a superior product and give great service to your clients, it doesn't matter how well you sell.
Right.
So you have to work on both of those fronts at the same time. So I think where people struggle is in order to grow a business to the point where you can start to leverage yourself out of it, just to get to that point, you have to work on two things at the same time, which is lead generation and operations.
Yep.
Does that make sense? So you have to be, at the same time, you have to be asking yourself, what is my lead generation system, which I know you hate the word system, but whatever you want to call it. What's my process? What are my activities that I do to generate leads, right? First of all, what works for me? You got to find what works, which means you either got to figure out your personality or you just got to throw a bunch of shit against the wall and figure out what works, right? Whatever the process is. So you have to figure out your lead gen process, your lead gen system. At the same time, you have to be working on operations, which is how do I deliver the service that is what I do. How do I deliver the right service? Then at the same time you're doing that, you have to be working on systematizing that and figuring out what you do that you're actually good at and why you deliver good client service and breaking that down into actual systems so that when you hire somebody to start taking over some of those functions, they're not just following you around for 2 weeks trying to figure out what the hell you do. Imagine, Greg, if you were doing all the paperwork. Let me paint you a word picture.
Please don't do that.
It's going to be so fun. Let's just do a quick thought experiment. If you had no Eileen, if you had no steel trap, if you had no steel trap and you were doing all the paperwork yourself, and you decided, I'm going to hire a manager for my team, and they came in and they said, Greg, I'm ready to go. It's my first day. What do I do? Exactly. And that's most people. So here's the rub with that is that you have to be working on that at the same time you're working on lead generation. That is the struggle. I mean, and that's where I'm at, right? So I'm growing this podcasting business where I produce, promote, and book the guests on podcasts, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm in the middle of figuring out what is my lead generation system, which I've figured it out. It still needs to be implemented, but you guys will see all that. And we have some big announcements of stuff that me and Greg are going to be doing for that. But so I'm figuring out the lead generation system, but thanks to this podcast, I already have most of the operations figured out because I tested and experimented and all this stuff through the Real Estate Uncensored podcast. So most of these systems are already built. So I'm not as much as maybe a real estate agent getting off the ground. I'm not having to focus on both those things at once because I was able to just focus on the operations first and get that down through the podcast. But I also still have to figure out how do I deliver this service as a paid service to clients, not how do I do this for Greg where it's a partnership where we're basically just putting in our time for free. Yeah. Whole different set of expectations.
So
right?
basically, you're telling me you unfucked yourself.
Sure, why not? But does that make sense? Like
No,
where you're trying to
no, it
work
makes
on
total
lead
sense.
generation and operations at the same time, and each of those has different components. And I think that's where people struggle with the most. Those are the two types of questions I see most often on Facebook groups. Is they want to know what's the next tactic I should try for lead generation because everything I've tried up to this point doesn't work.
Well,
That's
that's because they
you know,
stick with it for a week, and then they
exactly.
give it up because they're a goldfish, and like they're
Well, and it's because they're asking themselves the wrong question. They're asking, how do I get clients? I want to grow my business. How do I get clients? How do more people work with me? They're not asking,
they
how
need to
do I
give.
make it more obvious that I give incredible value? How do I be more valuable to more people in a systematic way? That's the question to ask.
Well, you have to give of yourself more than anything. You have to be willing to go out there and give continuously because the universe will get out of your way. As soon as you give enough value to the universe, it will give everything you've ever wanted back to you because the law of reciprocity comes back into flow. But no, what you're saying is 100% right. It's the day-to-day tactics to get their instant gratification, given to them because we're, I call it the microwave society, in generations. We want it done now. If you don't get a text back on this thing called an iPhone or a cell phone, a smartphone within 5 minutes, you immediately think the other person hates you. And
Or they're dead.
Or they're dead. I'm like, oh my God, they got killed in the accident I heard about on the freeway. No, dude, they're just taking a dump.
Were you in that? Were you in that earthquake in Ecuador? Because I texted you at like 2:05 and it was 2:15. You hadn't answered me, so I naturally assumed that you had taken a trip to Ecuador and were caught in that earthquake.
From Omaha, Nebraska, you made a huge trip just spontaneously. Yes,
exactly. I mean, that's the only given explanation for you not texting me back within 10 minutes.
Of course, or you're cheating on me, or God forbid, something catastrophe has happened. But no, I mean, realistically, I mean, the way that we view life is that like we have got to get, it has to work today, now. I do a lot of McDaniel challenges with folks who are going, I need business now, Greg. And I say, you picked the wrong business. This is not selling a stick of gum in a store, okay? It's not an impulse buy. This is a massive buy. I have a client I'm working with right now. They're both corporate individuals, and they're very, B2B sales. It's just numbers. It's a process. It's just the way it is. They're like, well, why isn't it selling? And I keep giving these individuals the exact same answer, but they don't hear it because they're not conditioned to hear it. They're used to instantaneous results. And so,
they're coming from B2B sales and they're used to instant results. What the hell are they selling?
I don't know what their company says, but what her job is that they takes a process that's this long and then takes all the bullshit out and brings it down to this long.
Yeah.
She shortens the gap when it comes to different processes and
she's
sales.
Selling high level business systems consulting.
Yeah. So she's used to instant.
What I was going to say, like, just ask her, like, what's her lead time on that? It has to be over 6 months to sell that kind of service.
But that's not the point. My point is the fact that if you guys understand the fact that in business, in real estate, in this whole solutions thing, like what we do on the McDaniel Challenge is I unfuck you, and I take the blinders off of you, and I allow you to see certain things about you that are strengths that you can tap into and shorten your lead time down to getting those buyers or sellers because you're talking to people about something that they have an interest in. I mean, I did a 10-minute call, Matt, with a guy that I'm going to be talking with, in June. And he was a chef, and kind of a pseudo celebrity in his neighborhood where he used to live. And I came up with probably 7 or 8 things while driving that he can put into action immediately that he's like, oh my God, I never thought about any of that. It's been right in front of me. I'm like, I know, that's my point. So maybe do that for yourselves. Way to shorten that time down for you is to think about something, a skill set, an ability, something that you have a unique set of knowledge about, and then think about how you can leverage that knowledge into the real estate realm to get people talking to you and give back to people on those realms. I have a gal that she's in one of my AIM classes right now. Her name is Rhea. Very nice gal. She's really big into fashion. And so she was just, and I'm like, well, then do a blog on, do videos about fashion. I mean, you could make me look good. I mean, if that could actually work. And she's like, I don't know, Greg, that could take a lot of work. I'm like, gosh, damn it. But I mean, those are the types of things, you'll stop being the fish chasing the shiny object. You'll set in on what you're good at, and then you can build your systems after you have your lead generation channel or channels set into place, and then just stay true to them. You have to stay true to your channels. I mean, you can't bounce around all over the place. Otherwise, you're never going to get good at it.
No, and that's the thing is that, like, Greg, you are allergic to the word systems, but you have a lead generation system. You know what works for you. It's a combination of doors, circle prospecting with buyer needs, and success stories of just listed properties, backed up by a little bit of internet lead gen and follow-up to generate more buyers. And then you're adding a new system, which is a calling assistant, who is doing a very systematic process of dialing through your database to look for leads, which then you will follow up on. Like, you have, what I'm saying? Like, you may be allergic to the word systems, but you have systems. You have figured out what work for you, and you do that week in and week out.
Yeah, right? It's every day. I mean, I have right here, guys, I can't show you how many of these are, but it's a thick sheet of paper, a bunch of papers. Each one of those, guys, is a legitimate seller lead. I got from, let's do this. That I got from doing one of my prospecting arms. And yeah, there is a system involved. I sit down and I do my prospecting, and then I fucking hate follow-up, but I do the follow-up, but you know what? I know for a fact I can get a CMA every single day if I just stick to my system. But guess what? It worked too well, so I quit doing it.
Yeah, you got too busy with all that pesky business.
I really
those pesky sellers asking me to come over and do CMS with them.
God, how dare they actually pay me $50,000 to $75,000 to run numbers for them? Those assholes.
Ungrateful ingrates.
God, how could they be that way? I mean, their parents didn't raise them right at all.
Yeah, well, that is the problem. It's the parenting and education.
Well, that's why I tell Julie all the time. You're letting the ball drop, buddy.
That's right. My obese wife. Is she obese, or is it just the kids? Because I don't know if she has to be, but I'm not an obese person.
No, Matt, Julie, and your 3 obese babies. By the way, Matt, people are coming back to me and they're like, "Dude, I got to tell you, I love his obese kids. You guys are hilarious about that, and they are loving our nestled so deep in there." They're like,
that's like a little inside joke there, yeah.
Oh yeah, Aaron was telling me that, like, he'll listen to us in the gym or something, and people think that he's a little bit of retarded because he'll just be going.
Oh, dude, I know. I used to when I worked out in a busier gym. Well, now I work out in a gym that's private. It's really private. It's small. There's not a lot of other people like in the gym. So half the time
you love that. There. You love that.
Are you kidding me? It's great. I don't have to wait for anything. I don't have to talk to anybody. Yeah, just put in my headphones and it's gret. But I just listened to like Adam Carolla's podcast while I was at the gym with like 200 other people there, and I'm just like just trying not to laugh out loud uproariously because it's that fantastic. I love Adam Carolla. Okay, so what do you say we take another question?
Wait, Facebook, dude. I want to talk about Facebook Live really quickly.
Oh, that's right. All right.
You forget about me that quickly, Matt.
So let's get to the meat of it. So when you say people are they don't know how to do it right, so what are a couple of small mistakes that people are making that we can correct right off the bat?
One, don't film stupid shit. Okay, Facebook is changing their algorithm, and they are going to be helping promote things that are getting engagement and likes. You need to bring value to who you're showing the live cast to. Do some preparation for this every day. Guys, I am getting up and I'm thinking about the music I'm going to play before the show and after the show. I'm thinking about the content. I'm finding time to read and actually come up with something interesting to talk about. Other thing, when you're on air, guys, your light and your sound are huge. If you have bad light or bad sound or a combination of both, people are going to click away and not watch you. For $80, go to Amazon and buy a smart lab. So smart LAV. It's $80 on Amazon. It delivers to you, and this thing, it's a lavalier, so it's the little thing that clips onto you right here, and it gives phenomenal audio. So if you're out, in wind, or if you're walking through an echoey house, you'll get good quality sound on this thing. Also, you can do an interview with this thing. So if you wanted to set your camera down, yeah, there it is.
Here we go. Yeah, right there.
Fucking lab. I actually backed up. I'm like, God damn. But so you get the lab, and I actually was on a blab earlier today, and Jason Bates is a guy that I chat a lot with, and he said that, like, for $3 or $4 you can go get a 10-foot extension cord for your lavalier, so you can put your phone down and then step back and do an interview and do full body or something like that. So that's really cool. and also engage with the people. So if Matt came on to my on my live cast, which he's done, I think, one time, I give a shout out to everyone.
I feel like it was more than that.
Well, maybe you didn't engage. I didn't know you were there. But if he ever decides to show his face on my live Facebook posts, I would see Matt Johnson pop up if you started listening to me or hearing me or whatever, and I'd say, yo, Matt, what's up, man? How's San Diego, bro? Nice to see you, man. Thanks for joining in. Engage with everybody as they write things to you, answer questions live back on the air. The whole point of having a Facebook live stream is for you to go show the world cool things and then interact with the people on a live time, and then ask people to subscribe to you. That is critical. Ask people to subscribe to your page so they get notified when they come out, and also ask them to like it and share it onto their pages. Now, they're only going to share it if you're engaging, entertaining, and informative. So you'd better be able to bring some sort of knowledge. And I keep saying, you don't have to talk about real estate. Talk about whatever. I mean, change it up. Don't be the boring dude, only talks about a certain subject matter. If you read a good book, talk about the book. If you have an idea or you have a way to get around a complaint of some sort, if you ran into a scenario that you've never run into, go live and talk to people about it. Continually do it, and do them longer. They have to be longer. They can't be shorter. Usually if you're going to upload video to Facebook or the web, it needs to be 1 to 2 minutes max, or you lose about 80% of your viewers. It's the polar opposite. You need to run long videos. The minimum I'll run is a 10 or 15 minute live video. I'll run 20, 30 plus minute videos, because you have to give people time to see that you went live, then join to say hi. You need that engagement. You absolutely need that engagement. So go out there, guys, just start doing them. Look, yes, you are going to be a colossal disaster, probably your first couple, and that is fine. You're learning how to do this. If you don't cut your teeth, you're never going to do it. Okay, just start. That's all I'm saying. Just start. Facebook will give you preferential treatment, at least for the next little while. Don't know when it's going to shut off. If you're bringing value and you're making this happen, because they do want everything to be live eventually on Facebook, like always live, then the preferential guys like Matt and I, who are doing it right now, they're gonna give us some good bump us up a little bit and everything. So that's what I would say, guys. Just go out and just start doing it, man. It's really going to change a lot of what you're doing. And if you want to watch people do it wrong, and learn what not to do, go to facebook.com/live-map. And I'm make sure I'm saying that right. /live map, and it's like a ripoff of Periscope's map of the world, and seeing where everybody's going, where's everyone's live. Go over there, kind of get some ideas what not to do, and maybe see a couple that are doing it right, whatever. You'll kind of see how people are shooting, and then take tips on that. So that's what I really wanted to get off my chest, because I love doing Facebook Lives. I think they're incredibly powerful, and I think they can be very informative as well to maybe your base, or just some random Joe out there who likes you and started following you. So there you go. That's Facebook Live in a nutshell.
Cool. All right. And speaking of coming up with content and stuff like that, so here's the system that I'm going to experiment with over the next 2 weeks, which is this. So every morning I'm going to start off with a half hour of consuming content. So I'm going to go out to I'll probably watch Ask Gary V show. I'm going to check up on Inman News. I'm going to check up on 5 or 6 different sources of places where I look to get content from for what I want to talk about for marketing and business. And it's a little bit different than what you would do if you were an independent real estate agent or whatever. But in other words, half hour consuming, a half hour writing. Okay. And that writing is what forms the basis of what I will talk about on the Facebook Lives that I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as long as I'm in town. But hopefully that will, you have to have enough coming in to where you have to have some input, right? So what I struggle with is I'm so focused on work, and doing stuff for clients, is I haven't been taking enough time to bring input other than just the books that I'm reading. I haven't been checking up enough on current news, current developments in marketing and social media and stuff like that, to where I have something to talk about that's new on a daily basis. So if that's your struggle, that's maybe something you can try. So start off the first hour of the morning with a half hour of consuming content, and then a half hour of writing. getting your content out, regurgitating, reformatting, putting your own spin on it, however you want to do that. Put your thoughts together. I'm going to put it into probably blog post format, and it might go up on pursuingresults.com if it's good enough, and then it'll also go out to Facebook, and it'll also go out to LinkedIn. So now that I'm playing in like 4 other industries outside of real estate, I'm doing a lot more on LinkedIn, and if you're a real estate agent working with people hopefully in all these other industries, you should be very active on LinkedIn as well, because it's a really, really great place to meet and develop relationships with people. Sign up for the premium version. I'm also experimenting with that, where they have Sales Navigator, and you can go out there and you can look people up by all kinds of different factors. But probably the most powerful thing, if you're an individual agent, is just to look for people that are in the networks of people that you know, and ask to be introduced to certain people. So if you're friends with a financial advisor and you see in their network that they're connected to, let's say they're connected to like a local congressman from your district, ask the lawyer that you know to introduce you on LinkedIn to the other person, the congressman you want to be introduced to. Just a quick example. So there's some really cool stuff that you can do, but the other cool thing about LinkedIn is they do not, because they don't have the traffic that Facebook has, they also don't have the algorithm that prevents people from seeing 90% of what you post. So for the most part, if people are following you and they're connected with you, which they're only connected to a few hundred people at a time for the most part, they will see your posts scrolling by. Then it's you. So as long as you're writing something that's compelling and worth looking at about the local market or about the community or about real estate or whatever, they're going to see the headline and they're going to see that you published it, and you're going to become an authority, even if they don't read it, which hopefully you're writing something worth reading. But LinkedIn is a great place for that stuff. So that's the system that I'm going to start experimenting with, because that's what I need to do to not only generate but nurture leads for my own business for the podcasting service.
No, that's very true. I like it. There's there was one thing that I do almost the exact same thing. I don't put regimented time in there, but I do go out and I'm actively researching something to talk about. Like go to realtytimes.com, and it's an information aggregator. Go get little one and a half page articles. It's easy to digest. It's great content to put back out there. But also, like Matt was saying, go to LinkedIn. This is the only place on earth that you can go and read and connect and talk to people in every line of work and get their insights on something. Also, if you don't want to spring for the paid account, the free account allows you to connect with 50 groups. So, I mean, that's a massive amount of people that you have the opportunity to influence and, like Matt said, write for them, podcast, blog for them. Whatever.
And once you're a member of the group, you can message other group members for free. Yeah. Whereas sending someone an in-mail, you get a certain amount for free, which is a very low number, and then anything after that's like $15 per in-mail or something ridiculous. Yeah. So LinkedIn makes it very difficult for you to prospect or reach out to people that you don't know on LinkedIn. But if you're a member of a group in common, then you can get around that. And it's not even getting around it so much. It's just, if you're a member of a group, it's assumed that you're part of that same affinity group or peer group or whatever the case is, and LinkedIn allows you to message with people in that group. Yeah. So, oh man, I think we brought some good content today. Hopefully some good value for you guys. We're hitting the 12 o'clock where we both turn into pumpkins. Thank you to Google Plus's time restraints. Otherwise, Matt and I would probably be yakking for the next hour or two. I could easily go for another hour. Oh, just yelling. Why don't we just go? We'll just cancel this one and we'll go right back up and do it again. Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah, not a chance. I know. Yeah, no. I'm going to get back to Jeff's workshop. So, anyway, with that being said, so subscribe 3 places: YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher, depending on your mobile device. If you'd like to support the show, there's 2 ways to do it. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes, and then head over to patreon.com/REU podcast, and you can support the show by a small donation there. Or if you just rather get the farming training course, that supports the show, but also gives you a ton of material and ton of training, hands-on stuff, really, really good stuff. Just me and Greg for like 10 hours going through Greg's entire farming process, plus 2 bonus videos on Zillow and events and all kinds of stuff. So so you can get that. We're still working on a new website, so if you go there today, as of Friday, if you're watching this live, we had some issue with a plugin, and so it says there's like a malware warning. We didn't get hacked or anything like that. It's just like some of the plugins on WordPress need to be updated and stuff like that, and we're not actively maintaining that website as much because Caitlin is working on a new website that hopefully will be up next week. So if you're listening to this after the fact, none of this matters. Just go to McDanielRealEstateSystems.com and go to the either the farming training course page for details on that. If you don't already have Greg's scripts download, that's for free. Just go to the scripts link on the website. You can get that. It's in the sidebar as well. So there's several different places you can go to grab Greg's free scripts, but that's a really good resource too.
And if you guys are listening to this after the fact, Matt just wasted about 1 minute of your life. But guys, okay, also, this is not going to waste any part of your life. Is McDaniel Challenge. We're going to do it one more time for all of you folks that are still listening to us because you love us and we love you. We want you to go to my phone. You can go to McDanielChallenge.com and you can sign up.
Go to my phone.
Go to my phone, damn it. Go and dial in sequential order, please. 925-915-1978, 925-915-1978. You will get me. This device shall ring or vibrate. I will be alerted of your intentions of communicating with me, and we will have an opportunity to get you booked up, guys. Things are booking up. We are a month and a half in advance, so please get your spot reserved ASAP. We'll do an hour and a half to probably 2 hours of talking. It's just a lot of fun, guys. It really is just a lot of fun. You will walk out of it with more knowledge of what you want and need in your business. So take the challenge, guys. I love you. I really want to give back to you. Allow me to do it. This is one of my modes to do it. So please.
That's right. Okay, well, with that being said, we have, let's see, a couple great guests next week. Dave Friedman on Monday, top producer. We've got Doran Aldana, who's one of the top mortgage coaches in America, as well as the founder of Testimonial Engine. We're going to be talking about the power of referrals and building referral relationships. One of the things that he does is teach mortgage brokers and bankers how to build relationships with realtors. So I'm curious to get his perspective on how to do the opposite, which is as a mortgage banker, from his perspective, what could a realtor do to develop deeper relationships with someone like him, and how can realtors reach out to other people in their community to build deeper relationships with professionals in other industries, which is what he teaches his people. So that's Wednesday, and then I will be traveling back next Friday, but Greg is going to be interviewing Jeff Latham, who's been on the show before, talking about probably some mindset and some practical stuff as well. So we've got 3 really top shelf guys on the docket for next week. So join us on Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern or 6 Eastern or whatever the hell that is, but yeah, that will do it for this. You can hear the music in the background. That is the workshop starting up again. So with that said, thank you so much for bearing through it. Me and Greg had a great time on this episode. Hopefully you guys got something out of that. And make sure to leave us a comment, whether it's Google Plus or Facebook on the Facebook page. Friend request us, Greg McDaniel, and then mine is facebook.com/pursuing results. Remember to add me on Snapchat, Pursuing Results, and we'll tinker around with that.
All right, guys, we love you. Have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you soon.
Later, guys.